New dad. Long-term relationship ended, struggling to understand what really happened first. Thank you to anyone who takes the time to read this and respond. I have a lot on my mind, and this is honestly one of the hardest periods of my life. I'm a new dad. I met my partner when I was 23, and I'm now 34. For most of our relationship, I believed things were going well, or at least I thought they were. Over time, though, I started feeling unseen and unloved. I was always the one initiating plans, asking to spend time together, and making an effort. Sexually, after the first year or two, she completely stopped initiating. When I asked why, she said it was because of discomfort, discharge, smells, etc., and that she didn't feel comfortable. Later, she told me she had been raped, which I took very seriously. I tried to be patient, supportive, and understanding. Despite that, our sex life was almost non-existent, maybe 1 to 2 times a year, at most 4-5. Every time, I was the one asking, or basically begging. I felt unwanted and unloved. At the same time, I want to be fair, she was supportive in other ways. She helped me with work, stood by me when my own family scammed me, and was there for me in practical ways. About 2 to 3 years ago, the relationship started falling apart badly. There was a long stretch, nearly 1 to 2 years, where we barely saw each other. During that time, I decided to focus on myself. I went to the gym, fixed my finances, and bought my own place. Once I got my life together, she seemed to come back around. We planned a trip to Toronto. I asked her to sleep over the night before so we could leave together in the morning. She said she couldn't because her mom was drunk and causing problems. Later that night, her mom called me, asking me to take care of her daughter and to make sure she was with me that night. I said she was supposed to be at her mom's house. Her mom insisted I come check. I went over. She wasn't there. When I confronted her, she said I was too demanding and didn't he want her going out with friends, which wasn't true. I always encouraged her to go out, especially since she didn't have many friends. From that night on, I strongly suspected she cheated, but I had no proof. Later, things seemed to improve again. I always wanted to live together, but it was complicated because I was paying for everything and didn't want to move recklessly. I also covered all expenses whenever we went out. When she got pregnant, she moved in with me. During that time, she was honestly the best partner I could have asked for, and I thought, finally, this is it. But even during pregnancy, we only had sex twice. After that, I still had needs, but she didn't even want me to touch myself. I was extremely frustrated and confused. About a month before she gave birth, a female co-worker told me that in another life she would be with someone like me. That comment hit me hard because I felt completely neglected at home. I started pressing my partner again about where she had been that night years earlier. I told her that the neglect, combined with outside attention, was messing with my head and making me develop feelings for other people, something I didn't want. Her response was that she couldn't forgive me and wanted to break up. She told me to do whatever I wanted with other women and that she'd maybe decide later if she wanted to be with me again. I told her that if we broke up, I wasn't going to chase her anymore. I was exhausted. She ended the relationship. I was devastated. I loved her deeply. After the breakup, I started investigating that night from years ago. I spoke to people, pushed for answers, and eventually found out she had been in another relationship for about 1.5 to 2 years while still with me. I also learned she had an abortion, apparently mine, without my knowledge or consent. Now, fast forward, she says I am only focusing on the bad and ignoring everything good she did for me. The problem is, I do see the good, and that's what makes this so confusing. But at the same time, I don't want this kind of relationship anymore. I was patient after she told me about the rape. I tried to make her feel safe and supported. I accepted years of neglect, especially sexually. What I can't accept is sacrificing my needs for years while she was secretly in another relationship and sleeping with someone else. That's not something I feel responsible for fixing. She needs to work through that herself. We have a child together, which makes everything even harder. My dream to have a family is shattered. She told me we can work it out. I told her I don't even know what is life anymore and I'm talking to someone already. She's saying I don't take time to heal, etc. I'm so mentally exhausted. I'm looking for honest outside perspectives. Am I wrong for walking away? How do I reconcile the good she did with the betrayal? How do I move forward while co parenting? Thank you for reading and for any insight you can offer.